Good morning, everyone. It is day 6 of our celery juice cleanse. I am just getting the celery out here to cut up to rinse. And then I'm going to put it in my Vitamix blender. It's a high-powered blender. And I'm going to add in 1 apple just to give it a little bit of sweetness. I don't know that I necessarily need that because I'm starting to get used to the flavor of the celery. But I have the apples, so why not, right? I put just a little bit of water in there so that it blends up really nice. Not too much water though, because then it gives you like way too much juice. Just putting the scraps into the scrap bucket that is in the laundry room, and getting the milk bag ready to squeeze out the juice from the pulp. Rinsing the items as I go, or washing them as I go, is something that I am really trying to keep up with whenever doing this juicing, just so that things don't get on there and get like really hard to scrub off or anything. Just go ahead and get it out of the way. It doesn't take that long, and I can kind of do it as I'm doing other things. So I timed this, and it takes just a little over 10 minutes, about 12 to 13 minutes, I think, to completely do the juicing from start to finish. With the juice cleanse, I drink it 30 minutes before I eat or drink anything else. But I go the rest of the day just with whatever I want to eat or drink. Within reason. Obviously, I don't want to eat a ton of junk food, but I'm not changing anything else in my diet at this point. And I have seen huge amounts of energy. So I'm done juicing, and I'm just going to put away some dishes and clean up the juicing things that I used to do the juicing. So like the bowl, the blender, and the cutting board and that kind of stuff. So today's video is just a little different because I wanted to kind of show you a few of the things I was wanting to implement into my morning routine. So the 3 things I'm going to be focusing on for my morning routine for the next week or so is shine my sink, dress to shoes, and make my bed. Not in that order, but I want to make sure that either I shine my sink at night before bed so that it's ready for the morning, or first thing in the morning I am shining my sink at some point. Then I also want to make my bed, which is what I'm going to be doing right here, making my bed. I used to make my bed like every day right after we did the remodel in our master bedroom, and I really enjoyed it, and it kind of motivates you seeing something getting accomplished first thing in the morning. After making my bed, I'm going to get dressed to shoes, is what they call it. Basically, it's getting yourself ready for the day, getting in actual clothes, not pajamas, which I am so guilty about doing all the time. So getting dressed up, or getting your regular day, everyday clothes on, and combing through your hair and that kind of stuff. So now I've made my bed, I've gotten dressed for the day, and I'm just going to go in here and finish up the dishes from last night's dinner because we had some dishes left in there. And then after I get these dishes done, I will be able to shine my sink. Ideally, I would like to have my sink cleaned at the end of the night, so all the dishes done from the day and my sink shined in the evening right before bed. That way I wake up to a clean kitchen with a clean, shiny sink. It would be a great start to the day. But right now, I don't know that that's going to happen, so I'm just kind of making it part of my morning routine until I can get deeper into this system and kind of be more motivated, hopefully, to have that happen in the evening. So for now, shine my sink is going to be kind of on my morning list, just so that I know that it doesn't have to be done in the evening, even though ideally it would be done right before bed. As I'm washing these dishes, I'm just making sure to take drinks of my celery juice so that I get that down. And that way I can have my coffee, because you guys know I really like my coffee. So I'm sipping on that celery juice as I am washing up these dishes and putting them away. For anyone who's new, we do not have a dishwasher. I chose to not put a dishwasher in this kitchen when we remodeled it. I don't think that it takes that long to wash dishes by hand, and when we did have a dishwasher, we typically washed the dishes before we put them into the dishwasher. Um, that was just kind of how I was raised, to make sure that things didn't get stuck on the dishes in the dishwasher and didn't come out, with crusties on it, basically. So it was just a habit to basically wash the dishes before putting them into the um, dishwasher. So I thought, why would I even need a dishwasher? I could use the space for storing, pots and pans and whatever else I want to store in my kitchen. So we opted out of a dishwasher. We also use a lot of cast iron. So in the sink right now, I'm filling up a cast iron that I let sit, that had some gravy and stuff in it. And so basically with cast iron, it's super easy. If it has sat and gotten like hard, just let it soak for just a couple minutes. You don't leave it because it'll rust. But just let it soak. And then I have this like orange little spatula looking thing. It's like a hard plastic, and you can rub that on there and it just kind of comes right off. And then I use a scratcher pad just to quickly scrub it, and then I dry it with a towel and put it on the stove. I put it on the stove to warm it up, to evaporate the water off so it doesn't rust, and I oil it. So that's how we wash our cast iron. As I'm doing all of these things, my kids are eating breakfast and getting their school day started. So I'm a homeschooling mom, and I homeschool my two youngest, and then my eldest has started doing online school this year, for this current semester, which will help him actually graduate faster next year, which he's pretty excited about. So that's what the kids are doing as I am washing up these dishes. I'm just going to quickly wipe down the counters. This isn't like a deep scrubbing of the counters or anything, just wiping them down, getting any crumbs that's kind of been left on there, and cleaning up a couple trouble spots, like over by the coffee pot. There's usually coffee drips, and then the stove, of course, always has little crumbs or something on the stove where it's like spilled over and gotten kind of ucky on there. And now it's time to shine our sink, or my sink, I should say. But if you guys want to do this morning routine where you're shining your sink, or in the evening, either way, it would be awesome. Maybe we could make a whole thing out of it. So now it's time to shine our sink. So basically, I'm just taking some soap and going to take that scratcher pad that I have, and I'm going to scrub it real good. I'm going to take my rag, just my regular rag, and wipe down really good all of the fixtures and the whole surrounding of the uh, sink there. And ideally, if I was doing it in the evening right before bed, I would take a towel to it as well and dry it so there wouldn't be any water spots. But because it's the morning, I know that I'm going to be using it in like 5 seconds anyways. I didn't see the point in drying it out. Now I'm moving around the kitchen, and you can see I'm oiling the cast iron there. I'd been on the stove staying warm and getting that water evaporated out. So I'm just going to oil that, and I'll leave them there to cool, and then I'll put them away later. And I'm just going to put away some of those pots that I had sitting out on the counter, that I had just washed. And then I'm going to just quickly wipe down this counter over here. I wanted to show you another one of my morning routines. This isn't a Flylady thing. This is just my new routine that I'm doing. This app is an app I'm using for my son and for myself, but mainly for my son. who has trouble focusing. We think he probably has ADHD, like we suspect that I do. And this is actually designed to help people stay on task or to complete tasks. It's really cool. I can set goals for him. As you can see here, I'm setting some homeschooling goals for him to complete today. Since using this, he has been completing so much more homework in a day's time. It's been so helpful, and he looks forward to each and every task. I mean, I have things on there like get active for 30 minutes, and he like gets active. Like he is like jogging in place and doing push-ups, and he is just going crazy trying to get his 30 minutes in. And so it's really neat if you guys get a chance, and I might do a whole video on just this after a while, but it's really neat. And of course, my morning would not be complete for a homeschooling day if I was not helping the kids. So I'm helping Curtis here just keep focused and also to help him with questions for his math. He is checking his work here. We use a curriculum called ACE, or Accelerated Christian Education. I have videos about it if you'd like to kind of see what that curriculum looks like. The kids do really well with it. It has comic strips in it. It's all laid out really, really well. And finally, it's time for my coffee. So I've waited 30 minutes since my celery juice, and I'm just gonna make my coffee. And I use a almond creamer, and it's really good. This is a puzzle I've been working on for the last few days. It's a 2,000 piece puzzle. Um, and I have realized that a 2,000 piece puzzle, while I am having a blast doing it, it takes up a lot of space on our kitchen table. It's also focal in the middle of the house. So I'm getting distracted. You guys know that I get distracted really easy. If you've been around my channel any length of time, you know I talk about that quite often. I have tendency to get off track very easily, and this puzzle has not helped me at all. I have spent hours on this silly puzzle, and I was telling my husband this evening that I was starting to feel really guilty because I realized that I am getting super distracted by it, and I'm wasting hours putting a puzzle together, which in the long run, yes, it's giving me joy and it's making me happy, but also I'm starting now to get frustrated by it because at the end of this, I'm just going to tear this puzzle apart and put it back in the box and probably give it to my sister to put together because she loves puzzles. But I'm not getting anything but joy from it, which isn't a bad thing, but 2,000 piece puzzle was too much. I need to stick to like the 550 puzzles because I can get those done in, 3 or 4 hours and enjoy doing it, but then at the end of the night put it away. So yeah, this puzzle, once it's done, is going to go out of the house and not come back. And now Michael is home for lunch, and that will conclude my morning routine. I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you did, and I'll see you again tomorrow.